Hey y'all, we're back today. Hope to bring y'all another good video. Today had some questions, and I know we always talk a lot just at home in the family and stuff. But had a lot of folks asked about your side of the family, and my Paul and Uncle Bobby, so I thought today that maybe we talk. I know a lot of you have seen the videos. Those of you hadn't, maybe you can go back and watch them, but. Our family always pulls tricks. I used to always pull tricks on my little brother, and he always pulled tricks on me. But that's kind of a family tradition, and that's what we're going to talk about today with some of the tricks you put on it. But for those of you who don't know, and I'll let you talk this.
Now this picture right here, this is a picture of my brother. It's Bobby James Smith. Bobby was in the National Guard at Fort Campbell, Kentucky in 1959. And
this is a picture of me, and I was at Fort Knox in 1982.
Put them together. Hold them
Yeah,
both against each other.
and that's what I wanted to say. Now, in younger years, everybody always said in later years, which me and Daddy do look alike and have always. But in the younger years, a lot of people said that I look like my uncle. So wanted to kind of show you that. But Daddy, I know you got some good stories and good times that we just was reminiscing over, and I'd like to share it with.
well, this is now I'm not going to tell the tricks my brother pulled on me because they were actually better than ones I pulled on him. But this particular one was interesting. Now Bobby was he was 20 months older than me, almost 2 years, and of course, as kids and all, you want to follow your big brother around, do all this kind of stuff. Well, we got older and all, and we'd pull tricks on each other for a while. And by the way, my brother, he actually got to go to California with Elvis in 1957 to do Jailhouse Rock, and he was out there for that. And but anyway, this happened, I say somewhere around 1962. I was working for Elvis at the time, and Elvis had these. He always liked cigars. Well, he had these cigars that they were about this long, and they were in glass tubes with like a little cork at the end of them, and they were, like $1 a piece at the time. So I asked him, I said, look, dog, you want to get in this thing or you want to let me tell it, huh?
That's Baba, their dog, and she's wanting to be in it.
That's Baba. Come here, Baba. So she was barking here and she wants to get in the movie. But anyway, going back to the story, he also had gotten some cigarette loads from somebody. I don't know who he got them from, but he was telling me about it and all. And so I asked him, I said, do you care if I have a couple of them? And he said, no. He said, try them out. He said, you'll probably like them too. And I said, well, what if I wanted to get some of the cigarette loads? Can I get some of them too? And he said, yeah. So he gave me a few of them, and a little pack of them is what it was. And so I took them, and I was thinking, what can I use these for? Well, I guess about 2 weeks later, my brother, he come down to see me and all, and he was saying, look, he said, man, he said, can I borrow your coat? And he said, it's your suit coat and all. And he said, man, he said, I've got a hot date. He said, man, I want to really impress her. And so I was thinking, okay, well, yeah. Well. So I got to thinking about it. And the more I thought about it, I thought, well, he's got a hot date. And he looked over and he said, where did you get them cigars? I said, I got them from Elvis. I said, it's some me. Man, he said, I'd like to have one of them too. He said, I'd take that with me. And he said, rag back like I'm somebody. And he said, because I really like this girl and I really want to impress her. So I said, well, okay. So he decided he'd come back and he'd get the next night and wear it. So I got everything ready for him. Only thing is, I took that cigar out and I shoved them cigarette loads in the end of that cigar. Well, I put more than really you needed. One was all you're supposed to put in there, but I put 4 or 5 of them suckers in there, you know. Shoved them way down in there where you couldn't see them. Put it back in the tube. He come over and I give him $20 and I said, here, you know, this is on me. This is, you know, take her out. And I said, you know, really impress her and all. And, oh man, thank you, thank you, thank you. He said, I'll pay you back. He said, you know, I'll really impress her with this. So he took her to a place we all like to go to. It's called Venucci's, and it was on, at the time it was called Highway 51, not Elvis Presley Boulevard. So it was a pizza place, and they made their own pizzas right there. So he took his girl in, and they got him a booth and ordered him a pizza, and they was enjoying it. And he said, you know, man, he said, I was, you know, doing good with it and all. He said, you know, I was really going to impress her. So I thought, okay. So they went to Venucci's and they ordered pizza and all that kind of stuff. Well, I got a call later that night, and boy, he was cussing me. And I said, what's the matter? He said, I ought to kill you, you little, and you know, certain choice words there. And he said, man, he said, I'll get you back for this. He said, I said, well, what's the matter? He said, you ruined the whole damn thing. He said, you just ruined it. She won't never go out with me again. Said, I really impressed her, all right. He said, I ordered some pizza and all that, and we was talking, getting along fine. And I scooted over close to her, and I put my arm around her, and he said, I pulled out my cigar, and he said, oh, man. He said, I lit it up and I sucked in. When I did, it blowed the whole dang thing off into my face, her face. And he said, even the people in the restaurant there got up and was looking, thought somebody was shooting or something. He said, I'll get you back. He said, I'm going to kill you for this. But I could just imagine. Needless to say, the girl never did go back out with him again.
He impressed her, didn't he?
He really impressed her.
Well, I want to share. This is a picture of Bobby and Daddy when they were younger. See that pretty good?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You see it pretty good. Do I still look like it?
Wanted to share that way. If you would, I had one more that I always thought was funny. If you touch on it, one more trick that you pulled on him about going to fix him up with Mama's cousin. And I know I'm putting you on the spot, but tell him what you did.
No, I'm gonna have to. Oh, that was another one. Yeah. He was asking me, look, man, he thought Joe was so pretty, and he was crazy about Joe. So he come over. He said, look, he said, man, can you fix me up with a date? Says, has Joe got any cousins that look like her? And I said, well, I don't know. So I'll ask and all that. So he left, and I got to thinking about it. And Joe said, I know what you could do. You could put on this blonde wig of my sister's. Said, and put on like a nightgown, something, and said, I'll put some lipstick on you, and he said, maybe a little eyeshadow, and so
did
I
that
thought,
right.
okay. So I got all fixed up. Man, I was ready back, and Joe took a picture of me, and she said, well, we'll show this to Bobby. And so he come over next night, and he said, Joe, he said, you got some cousins, and Billy was telling me you had a cousin that, he said, does she look anything like you? And Joe said, well, yeah, she looks somewhat like me. She's, she said, oh, look, he said, I got a picture of her. And Bobby said, well, let me see it. So Joe gave him the picture, and he raised it up, and he looked at it, and he said, I wouldn't take that ugly son of a bitch to a dog fight. He said, and I said, Bobby, that's her cousin. He said, I don't give a damn. I hate it, Joe. You're pretty. He said, but that's the ugliest son of a bitch I've ever seen. Pardon my language, but that's what he said.
No, that's great. I appreciate you sharing. Like I said, we were just sitting around and a few nights ago together on the weekend and thought, we got to talking and I thought, man, that'd be some great stories to share with y'all, and we hope you've enjoyed it. We hope you continue watching, and remember what we always say.
We always live
Elvis.
Elvis.